Explainer: For will circle Earth on first SpaceX private flight. For the first time in 60 years of human spaceflight, a rocket is poised to blast into orbit with no professional astronauts on board. Only for touristsSpaceX's first private flight will be led by a 38-year-old entrepreneur who's bankrolling the entire trip. He's taking 2 sweepstakes winners with him on the 3-day, round-the-world trip, along with a healthcare worker who survived childhood cancer. They'll ride alone in a fully automated Dragon capsule, the same kind that SpaceX uses to send astronauts to and from the International Space Station for NASA. But the chartered flight won't be going there. Set to launch Wednesday night from Kennedy Space Center, the 2 men and 2 women will soar 100 miles higher than the space station, aiming for an altitude of 357 miles, just above the current position of the Hubble Space Telescope.
By contrast, Virgin Galactic's Richard Branson and Blue Origin's Jeff Bezos briefly skimmed space during their short rides in July. Branson reached 53 miles while Bezos hit 66 miles up. As the private flight's benefactor, Jared Isaacman, sees it, this is the first step toward a world where everyday people can go and venture among the stars. A look at the spaceflight, dubbed inspiration for Isaacman's idea of fun, is flying fighter jets and keeping up with the Air Force Thunderbirds. He quit high school and started his own payment processing company, Shift4 Payments, in Allentown, Pennsylvania. He segued into aviation, founding Draken International for tactical aircraft training. While he won't divulge what he's paying for the flight, Isaacman acknowledges the worthwhile debates over whether the wealthy should spend their fortunes fixing problems on Earth versus sightseeing in space. But he contends investing in space now will lower costs in the future. Because it's so expensive, space has been the exclusive domain of world superpowers and the elite that they select, he told the Associated Press last week. It just shouldn't stay that way. When he announced the flight in February, he pledged $100 million to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and aims to raise another $100 million in donations. Isaacman offered one of the 4 capsule seats to St. Jude, which offered it to physician assistant Haley Arsenault, a former patient who now works at the Memphis, Tennessee, hospital. Now 29, Arsenault was 10 when diagnosed with bone cancer, and had much of her left thigh bone replaced with a titanium rod. She'll be the first person in space with a prosthesis, proud to pave the way for those who aren't physically perfect. She'll also be the youngest American in space, beating the late Sally Ride, who became the first American woman in space in 1983 at age 32. Contest winners claimed the final 2 seats. Sion Proctor, 51, a community college educator in Tempe, Arizona, and former geology instructor, beat out 200 other Shift4 Payments clients with her space-themed artwork business. Also a pilot, she was a NASA astronaut finalist more than a decade ago. Chris Sembrowski, 42, a data engineer and former Air Force missile man from Everett, Washington, entered an open lottery by donating to St. Jude. He didn't win, but a friend from his college days did and gave him the slot. Isaacman and SpaceX settled on 3 days as the sweet spot for orbiting the Earth. It gives him and his fellow passengers plenty of time to take in the views through a custom bubble-shaped window, take blood samples and conduct other medical research, and drum up interest for auction items to benefit the hospital. While roomy for a capsule, the Dragon offers virtually no privacy, only a curtain shields the toilet. Unlike the space station and NASA's old shuttles, there is no galley or sleeping compartments, or even separate work areas. As for food, they'll chow down on cold pizza following liftoff. They're also packing ready-to-eat, astronaut-style fare. Space tourism has never been hotter. Branson and Bezos rode their company's rockets into space to fulfill lifelong dreams but also advance ticket sales. Too busy to launch himself, SpaceX founder Elon Musk has 2 tourist flights to the space station coming up in the next year, the first as early as January, and also a private moonshot in the works. The businessmen shelling out $55 million apiece to fly SpaceX to the space station won't be the first to pay their own way there. 7 wealthy clients of Virginia-based Space Adventures rode Russian rockets to the space station from 2000 to 2009. Isaacman traveled to Kazakhstan in 2008 to watch one of them soar, Richard Garriott, the video game developing son of the late NASA astronaut Owen Garriott. While once opposed to space tourism, NASA is rooting for these newcomers. I can't wait for them to fly safely and fly often, said NASA's commercial spaceflight director, Phil McAllister.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.